Just let me have this, okay? Beautiful pass. And a run down the sideline and the dive. Rappy. That's what it feels like when you show up late. It leads to confusion and anger and disbelief and worst of all, 17-0 after 16 minutes. The All Blacks hosted the Boks in Auckland on Saturday and they certainly were not going to wait around for the vaunted Bok A team to get warm. How did they rack up such a big score so quickly? Kicking. The answer is always good kicking. The All Blacks put up 4 bombs and 1 chip kick in the first 15 minutes of that game. The Springboks did not catch a single one of the expertly placed buggers. For extra flavour, the visitors also added knock-ons under no pressure. Check and check. Lazy runners giving away penalties. Check and check again. And why not add in some missed tackles just to complete the shit sandwich? With the Boks playing like they were trying to keep their new kit clean, the All Blacks raced out to a massive lead in no time and the game was as good as won. I mean, the first time I even saw the Boks put any pressure on the All Blacks ruck was at the 20th minute. They kept that breakdown pressure up and the All Blacks only scored again at the 68th and 76th minute. The Boks scored 3 times during that period, including only the second maul try against the Jason Ryan coached team in 5 years. If only the All Blacks had delayed kickoff for 30 more minutes. But no, I must now accept that Tony is the better man in all facets.
Thank you, Rian, for this enormous gift that you've given me. Much love.
At least until next time. After that kind of letdown of a game, we got a real cracker as the Wallabies hosted Argentina in Sydney. In a game as tight as this one was, the stats often don't really tell you a story. But this one had some weird numbers. Los Pumas enjoyed 62% of the possession and 65% of the territory. The Wallabies also made 200 tackles to the Pumas 80, and they also passed half as many times. Those numbers would lead you to believe that the Wallabies were kicking the leather off the ball. You're wrong. The hosts only kicked 13 times to the visitors 20. I am confused. The possession stats would lead you to think that the Aussies are kicking the ball away, but their kicking stats suggest that they are not trying to move the ball upfield. What is going on? No. Let's get our head out of this number hole. What does the most important stat tell us? It says that the Aussies scored 31 points to the Argentinian 34. So it was a close game, no matter the stats. In the end, the Wallabies' Achilles heel, other than their actual Achilles heel, cropped up. Discipline in the dying moments, handing the ball back to the ball-hogging Pumas, and they could score a late winner. Joy for Cheika and his boys, and anguish for Eddie and his boys. And Eddie's goal of raising Union's profile in Australia by winning is staring down a winless Rugby Championship. Bleak, boot. What else is bleak is that the Rugby Championship takes a week off now. No game this weekend. But I'll be going to Ellis Park on the 29th to watch the Boks hopefully claim another silver medal. Number 7. Jeez. Praise be to the news. Jonathan Jeremiah Sexton, much like his namesake, keeping words inside burnt his heart and he had to let them out. Where he differs from the biblical Jeremiah is that his words were not exactly prophecy. After his team lost the Champions Cup final to La Rochelle a few months back, Johnny Sexton went up to the refs post-game and he told them, "It's a shame you guys can't get the big decisions right." It also says here that that quote might have contained some expletives, most likely the F word. Fuck me, is there anything funnier than a press release trying to stay straight in the face of naughty language? Yes, there probably is. So, Mr. JJ Sexton was dragged in front of a hearing to explain all his preaching. As with all rugby punishments, JJ got his 6 weeks down to 3 and he will be able to play at the World Cup. He'll only miss the warm-up games. Cue much consternation online amongst the rugby faithful. I also think the sentence was a little light, but the precedent has been set now, I suppose. What other news? Oh, the French under-20 side beat the Irish team in the World Cup final this past week. Both teams laid waste to all before them during the tournament. And then the French boys put 50 on the Irish in the final. So that was terrifying. The French have now won 3 Junior World Cups in a row and the men's senior team is also pretty good. The big tournament in September might confirm if the world of rugby is about to be ruled by France. Actually, I think the world of rugby is already ruled by France. Did my worldview just shatter? Last but not least, two of rugby's great players retired in the last couple of weeks. First, we had Scottish legend Stuart Hogg hang up his boots. Then, more recently, Springbok Hall of Famer Francois Steyn also said goodbye. Both of these guys played pro rugby for more than a decade, and they gave us a lot of highlights to look back on. Stuart Hogg with his post-match beer drinking, and Francois Steyn with his post-match beer drinking. Good luck to both of them in their future endeavours. I see Hoggy's already been hired for TV work, and I'm guessing Francois Steyn is in the Free State somewhere, kicking lions to death as he defends his cows. Or something. I will miss them both. But I will not miss this week's rugby update. It's finished now. I will see you all next week after Eddie's sprung his trap and somehow beaten the All Blacks on his way to winning the Bledisloe. No. No.